Travolting presents Bobbin for Robin. Hosted by Jeff Sweeney and Stuart Elmore. Covering the Birdcage with special guest Scott Holzer. You beat me by 1 fucking second. Beat me by 1 second.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing Starina. Oh, damn, I thought she was about to start singing.
You're a little early on that one.
Yeah.
All right. I ruined my
Every
own
time
book.
I hear that song, it's just chills because it's such a good memory.
It is such a good memory. It's such a good opening.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
It's also what I think it's did Boogie Nights come out before this or
Boogie Nights was after this.
Okay, so Boogie Nights definitely stole that opening oneer from the Birdcage.
The
oneer with the helicopter that goes over the Atlantic Ocean into Miami Beach, comes down onto obviously there's a weird transition, but it's hidden pretty well, and it comes down on this crane and turns into a Steadicam shot through the people walking on Miami Boulevard or whatever into the Birdcage and into the stage, and eventually you get Robin Williams there. And it's like such a fantastic way to start this movie. You set up this beautiful like landscape of Miami at night. You set up everything that you need to know about the club in general, and then you have a great way to introduce Robin Williams into it.
It is such a good opening. It's such a good shot because like you said, like when the camera hits the door, you can tell that there's a cut if you look for it.
Yeah.
But it's very well hidden. And then like the shot from the helicopter to the beach itself is like flawless.
Yeah.
You don't notice. Like
it's
perfect.
so well done.
Yeah.
Like that must have just been like a full 12-hour days worth of trying to get that.
Yeah, like all the
trying to get that
background
right.
you have to set for that, like the specificity of the camera move. And also like
this is like early days of Steadicam too, so it's like you're flying relatively bigger cameras, so like
and you're flying bigger cameras, and then like that whole opening shot is like, I'm looking at it again right now, but that's like the whole movie kind of in a nutshell is like you're just kind of like in this vast world and you're just kind of zooming in on this bright colored like safe space in the middle of all this. And it's a really nice like bit of visual storytelling leading you right into the Birdcage. And then you don't even have to have a title sequence because it just says the Birdcage on the front of the place, and that's your title. You go inside. And then basically the whole movie most of the movie is set within the Birdcage itself.
That and the apartment above it.
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen this movie before. Well, first off,
I would hope so. We're about to talk about it.
So it's like, I have not seen this movie. I have not seen the Birdcage.
never even seen it before going into
like,
this.
what?
But no, first off, ahead of myself, welcome back to the Travolting Podcast, presents Bobbin for Robin. Thank you for joining us this week where we talk about the Birdcage. And thank you all for joining us last week where we talked about Jumanji, a very different movie. So, like, real quick, a little bit of like Robin corner here. Scott, I want to ask you real quick. So you picked the Birdcage.
Yes. I didn't pick it. I was given it, but
Okay.
that would have been the movie I picked. There's a little history with Jeff and I about this movie.
There was no question second we decided this that Scott was doing
Let me
the
shut the
Birdcage.
fuck up. What's the history of you guys in the Birdcage?
So back when Jeff and I were in college, obviously I've known Jeff since high school. Jeff was like, "Oh, we should watch a movie," and he's like, "Have you ever seen The Birdcage?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." He's like, "Oh, it's a classic. It's Robin Williams. It's Nathan Lane. It's Gene Hackman. You're gonna love it." And like, obviously, as a young gay man in Chicago, the fact that I've never seen The Birdcage, I feel like is a little bit of a blasphemy. But so he comes over. I make Jeff and I dinner.
Turkey burgers.
Turkey burgers. The fact that I still remember that. and is sitting in my first apartment off campus from
On
Columbia.
Addison.
On Addison, yep. And then we watched the movie, and afterwards I'm like, Jeff, this was the greatest fucking movie I think I have ever seen. Robin Williams' character in it is hilarious. Nathan Lane playing a drag queen, then a actual woman at the end of it was just, I could not stop laughing, and it has just turned into this like quotable movie that Jeff and I've been using to quote for years now. And it just holds every time I watch it, I have that little special memory of Jeff and I together watching it for the first time.
It was a movie that I knew Scott would love.
Yeah.
And he had not seen it, and I was shocked. And I was like, well, I have to fix this. This will become his personality. And so
and then there was eventually a bar in Chicago called the Birdcage, and Jeff and I were like,
we never made it.
It lasted like a year. I went once. It was good, but like it was it had a pricing problem, and then COVID, which obviously COVID killed a lot.
Was that a bar that was up in Andersonville?
It's where
on Clark?
Lonesome Rose is now.
That's right. I think
It's like right next to
they
like
were.
Brown Elephant.
Yeah, COVID did destroy it.
Yeah.
Ah, man, that's sad. But all that to be said, like, I remember like hearing a little bit that like I'm giving Scott the Birdcage. Like you're just gonna do the Birdcage.
Yes. It was like I texted him and like, Scott, you'd want to do the Birdcage, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, yeah. I already put you on for it.
Yeah. I was like, all right, cool.
Did you have any kind of relationship to Robin Williams prior to the Birdcage? Okay. What was that?
I was talking about it with my mother on the way here, actually. Robin Williams is the only actor that died that I've ever cried over.
Yeah.
Every single movie he plays, it just I've seen has just played such a special part of my heart. His character, the way that he was as a person as well. Like, obviously, I grew up on rewatching Aladdin on VHS to the point that I broke the VHS tape. Obviously, Mrs. Doubtfire, Jumanji, Patch Adams was one of my dad's favorite movies that we watched a lot because
his dad was a doctor.
My dad was a doctor, and he was like, that's how, because my dad was a pediatric surgeon, and he was obviously like, I like to try to like, my dad had very good bedside manner for children, and he was like, I kind of liked how in that movie, Robin Williams was a very outgoing character who's like, I want to make people laugh, like it's a very good thing. And my dad, obviously my dad predated Patch Adams, but he's like, that's how I want to be a doctor especially to children, because like, it's a scary place to be in a hospital, and being a little bit of sunshine as much as possible can go such a long way in healing and in healthcare. So like, Robin Williams has always had a special place in my heart, and I remember sobbing finding out. We were in high school. I remember sobbing finding out that he died, and it was like such a huge loss, because that was like, obviously at this point I was like, I know I want to go into movie making, and I was like, this is one of the only actors I think I would absolutely die to be able to work with.
Yeah.
And obviously that's no longer the case. But he's
A legend.
A very
absolute legend in Hollywood.
Very important figure in your life in more ways than one, both in what you wanted to do in just a career and also just as like upbringing through important moments in your childhood. And I think the movies you just mentioned, like Aladdin, Doubtfire, Jumanji, it seems like your upbringing in Robin was very focused more in like his family man blockbuster work.
Yeah. So that's probably why I never saw The Birdcage up until the point of Jeff introducing me, because it's obviously more on his like adult, like slightly raunchier side.
Yeah.
I will say this, I made a joke with my mom. I was like, Robin Williams is the only only straight man I would ever let play gay and get away with it. He does it so well.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I was like, out of any straight man ever, he gets a pass. He gets 100% pass.
Yeah.
We don't need to cast a gay man for that role. We have Robin Williams.
Because I feel like something we've talked about is like what makes Robin playing, like whether it's a Russian or a gay man, like something that he isn't, a Jew. He's played a Jew a few times. Like when he does those, he comes at it not from a place of like parody, but like understanding.
Yeah.
That can lead to humor. Like he like through all these performances when he's playing an ethnicity, sexual orientation, or anything that he isn't, he always starts at a place of the.
Sorry.
Here's our weekly cat corner.
Weekly cat corner.
Piper has jumped on top of Scott.
Are you allergic to cats?
I'm highly allergic to cats.
Oh shit. Okay.
Hey, kitty. There you go.
All right. If that just happens, if that happens again, I'll just.
No, you're good.
I didn't know you were allergic to cats. God damn it.
I forgot to mention.
Thank you.
Do you have like anti-allergy shit? Like stuff
I'll be
with it?
fine. I just won't touch my face.
Okay.
Okay, but
God damn it, Jeff.
Jeff's known me for over a decade.
yes,
and
I've
yet-
known Scott for 12 years.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
and
I
yet-
always ask in advance when guests come over here. It's like, do they have a cat allergy? The one time I forget to ask Jeff that question. Important.
Anyway,
All right. So, continuing on. Yeah.
yeah, but like Robin, at this point is also trying to use his fame to highlight issues that he believes or cares deeply about. And we talked about this a little bit with To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, which is another drag queen movie that Robin's in a small role.
Yeah.
But he's basically in that movie because he wants to support like Hollywood starting to broach like transsexuality and LGBTQ themes in like mainstream movies instead of just like in independent cinema or like more off-kilter cinema. He wants to help, broach that in a major sense. And so he does the little role into Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything. And then he's cast in this movie by Mike Nichols, the director. And I think a big part of the reason he wants to do it is for that reason, that like he can help bring awareness to and like speak on this like moral debate in this country between like a conservative uprising that's just taken the House of Representatives, fighting like kind of a free-loving growth in gay society at the time.
It's important to note, like, Robin, from this point, much previously, and even in his like childhood and upbringing, that at first, like, where he's raised in like Chicago, and his dad's like an executive at Ford Auto, but then they moved into San Francisco Bay Area, and this is where Robin will say a lot, like as I'm reading in his biography by David Scoff, that Robin sort of fell into this whole new culture in San Francisco. This is San Francisco
you walk around the Castro, it's very much like what the Birdcage was. So it was like, he got exposed to this very liberal, free-flowing, sex-positive society, obviously very LGBT friendly.
And Robin very much recounts that of his time, like going from club to club, growing up in San Francisco, and also as he's starting to dabble more into acting classes and theater, doing more improvisational work. Like, he's very much in the scene in San Francisco. And then he recounts that when he goes to Juilliard in New York, that he's showing up with a tie-dye shirt, baggy joggers, sandals, and he steps into some dog shit first day going to class. And very much it's like the painted image of like, this guy is a hippie from San Francisco. And so for his whole life, he's pretty much been like on the liberal spectrum. And he's spoken out a couple times, being an ally for LGBT work. And the Birdcage, I think, I as I said, I've seen this movie before, like a little some time ago. Funnily enough, I think my dad was the one who showed me this movie.
That's very funny.
A crazy sentence that I just said. My dad being, Indiana.
Your dad's probably like, Gene Hackman, what a riot.
But no, like that. I think what you said, Scott, it's like with Robin Williams playing a gay man in this movie. Like, Robin, to me, at least from my viewing of this movie, but also in many of his comedy, like he does a lot of like shticks and a lot of bits in his comedy, and people can make the case of like, oh well, like he's doing like flamboyant in this one, he's doing effeminate in this one, and it's like Robin for me just reads as somebody who's so confident in his sexuality that like, whereas you get like the very typical like the straight male actor who's like, I can't play a gay man. I'm not like, whereas like you got Robin here who's like, no, like I can.
He's like, I'll do anything.
It's like, I'll do anything because I'm not like self-conscious.
I'm not afraid.
He's very good. He's very good at getting into the character that he's playing too. He's every single film he's ever done, I think. Also his improv alone, and like, I mean, not to bring up another movie, but it was Doubtfire. Apparently, there's like a rated R version of the movie somewhere that exists because of all the outtakes that he had.
Oh yes.
But when he gets into that character, he plays that character. He does a very, very phenomenal job with like getting fully involved in that role and playing it so seamlessly that you're just like, this guy isn't acting. This is literally just him.
Because I can imagine some people like watching this movie and thinking like, well, of course that's the character Robin Williams is going to play because he's playing the more masculine like gay man. So it wouldn't be as hard for him. But like you watch the movie though and seeing him, it's like he is very fearless in this role. Yeah. Like he's playing this role and like, yeah, he's playing like the more masculine of this couple. But when we do kind of get a glimpse, like I think about like the scene where he's talking with his son and his son's like telling him like, hey, like I think we might need to like, you know, dress up a few things to make it look more. And he's like, what, normal? It's like,
yeah. And because he's very, one thing I really loved about this movie, especially as a younger gay man, was that whole thing when he was like, I'm not changing anything. He's like, I've lived in the closet before. I'm not going back. And that's a huge arc for him that he has to obviously overcome in the movie to then, you know, I have to be there for my son and I'm going to put my own like agenda or my feelings aside because my son needs this.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a very, very beautiful way they did it in the movie because obviously you see from the LGBT standpoint of going, you know, living in the closet is very hard. It's very traumatic for a lot of people. Coming out is very hard. So once you are out, you do not want to go back. Yeah. And I think that scene with him and his son is very telling and very, you know, just very emotionally powerful. But him eventually coming around and being like, well, I have to be here for my son. Like this is like my son thinks he found the woman of his dreams. I have to do something. And like it's obviously like, you know, obviously it's different times than when this movie was filmed, but you know, that was a very emotional part of that film, especially as like a younger gay man and being like, well, obviously I don't want to go back in the closet and like seeing this like this man who's very comfortable with sexuality in this movie being like the exact same as like, I'm not going back. And like, that's a very, you know, telling part of the film.
I think that scene's really essential in that like aspect of Robin's character, because if you were just tell someone this movie, especially in a modern context, where it's just like a son forces his parents to go back in the closet to appease his girlfriend, is like, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't really like, that'd be like, oh, that sounds kind of,
yeah.
But like Robin making the conscious choice within the movie and having that moment of earnesty with his son, I think lets you kind of get past the icky nature.
Yeah. And then obviously, you know, the arc proves that going back in the closet was a horrible idea.
Yes.
And they come out and they come completely clean and like, this is who I am. And obviously the movie ends with them getting married still. So it's like ultimately, you know, didn't really matter. I love the last wedding scene when it's like all the drag queens and then like the super ultra conservative like white people. But you know, obviously that the arc goes right back to it going, no, we're not gonna hide ourselves. This is who we are. Like, you know, we're out, we're proud, get used to it. It's just,
I think this movie's like ultimately this is a very optimistic movie.
Yeah.
That ultimately like, kind of the thesis of this movie is we're all one big family. We have to get along. Like that's kind of like what the ending of it is kind of getting to is like the conservative like side has to get to deal with the more flamboyant side. And ultimately like the two people who relate the most are the ultra conservative man and the most like feminine gay man in the club. Nathan Lane.
Oh my God, Nathan Lane did such a phenomenal job.
When he goes up to Gene Hackman at the end, and he's just like, "Just so you know, I meant everything I said. I think we need to return to moral order."
I think one of my favorite lines is when Nathan Lane is talking about abortion. Because like obviously women are getting abortions. Like, you know, Gene Hackman's playing this ultra conservative, and she's like, "Kill the mothers. They might as well go down with if they're gonna kill the baby, might as well go down with the ship."
It's like, kill the doctor. They're just doing a job. We just kill the mom. Oh my
I just
God.
remember watching this and being like, this is the thing is the sad part is the jokes still work today.
Yeah.
Like the ultra conservative right it's still very much what Gene Hackman is playing, just way more worse. But also just like the Gene's like partner in the coalition for moral order, Eli Jackson. Yeah. The scene when he's like, he finds out that he died and he's like, black woman, a whore. Oh, I'm ruined.
He's found in bed with another woman, a prostitute, black.
That was like a bit because like as I was rewatching this movie last night, like there were some details I forgot. I remember like with the introduction of Gene Hackman's role, I remember going over to my partner and be like, watch. Like there's got to be a bit where he's got like some like mistress or whatever, and then it's like his partner like dies or whatever. Like,
And
oh
the
my
thing is,
god,
this is literally what's still happening in politics
I was
today.
like, oh my god.
Well, no, this is a good segue into the context corner for the movie.
Yeah.
Because this is a remake of a French play called La Cage aux Folles, which apparently translates to The Cage of Crazies.
Yeah.
Which is like,
Very good.
and the French play is very specifically about, it's the same basic concept. Two gay men have a drag club, and their son brings his fiance and her ultra-conservative parents over. Now, what I like that this movie like evolves on, and the French movie was a big success. It got nominated for 3 Oscars: Best Director, Writing, and Costume Design. Very well beloved, like French zany comedy. What I like that this movie does is tie it into larger themes. Like that movie's just very much about like the culture clash of a conservative family and a liberal family. And the Birdcage elevates the concept, I think, by making it very specifically about, it's not just the like two opposing viewpoints. The opposing viewpoint is like one of the leading senators of the U.S.
Yeah.
Which is very topical for 1996. This is like the rise of
Like moral panic.
Newt Gingrich era conservative moral panic.
Yeah.
And it just adds like a topical layer to this that, like you said, is tragically still very relevant.
Yeah.
But that I think is very invested in this movie making its larger theme about like we all need to accept each other.
Yeah.
And I quite like, and Gene Hackman I think is just like incredible. At
Oh my god,
playing,
his I don't think you probably could have found a better actor to play that like ultra conservative role. And like obviously Gene Hackman is like relatively not conservative from what I remember, but it's the way he plays, the way he looks, the way he plays the character.
The way he looks and sounds.
Yeah, he sounds like an old white man because he's an old white man.
He's an
so
old
what
white
do you
man.
expect him to be? Conservative.
when he's like, I think it's great television. Watching himself.
Your mother's a very smart woman.
And the fact that like the actual mom that he's married to, Gene Hackman's married to, is like getting jealous over the fact that like Gene Hackman is falling in love. It's like, we need women like this. She's such a smart woman, and it's.
Oh man.
Gene Hackman spent the entire end of this movie realizing that he has developed sexual attractions to a man.
Yeah.
And that changes him fundamentally.
Except for one tiny difference. Well, not
so
that tiny.
Not that tiny.
So Nathan Lane's a hung man, apparently.
Yes. I mean, I believe it.
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen Nathan Lane.
So something that like I might need a little bit of clarity for, because there's like this clip has been out on like TikTok and Instagram for a while, and it's Nathan Lane talking about is there
on Oprah show.
Yeah.
I was hoping we were going to talk about this. I think this goes back to, I think, how he says like Robin was a saint. He was how great of a person he really was, and that he looked after his friends as much as he could. So they were on Oprah interviewing. Fun fact: this is when the time my uncles were on this working as the producers on the show.
And Nathan Lane was not out.
He was not out. He was not publicly out. And obviously this is the 90s. It's like, you know, you're in the age of like, if you do come out, you could potentially ruin your career.
Yeah.
Even though obviously Hollywood is full of, you know, gays. This is a big moment for Nathan. And he looks at, and obviously Oprah's going to do her thing. She's going to do her little interviewing thing. And he looks at Robin before the interview, before they go out, and he's like, I don't think I'm ready to come out. I don't want, if Oprah asks about it, I don't know how to talk. I don't know what to do. And obviously Oprah, you know, does the little, is he not? Like she does the little like feminine
It's just
voice.
like, how do you do such a good job at playing a gay man?
Exactly. AKA it's like, so
Yeah.
are you little limp wrist? And Robin just immediately, like without hesitation, jumps in and just distracts Oprah and leads the conversation somewhere else.
Yes.
And Nathan Lane in that clip you're talking about, he was like, he saved me. He protected me. And he was a saint.
I actually brought up the clip. I just wanted to play it real quick.
Famous moment on when we had to do Oprah. You know, and I don't think Oprah was trying to out me, but I said to Robin beforehand, I'm not prepared. I'm so scared of going out there and talking to Oprah. I'm not prepared to discuss, that I'm gay on national television. I'm not ready. And he said, oh, it's all right. Don't worry about it. We don't have to talk about it. We won't talk about it. And then, of course, she was like, how come you're so good at that girly stuff? And I was, are you worried about being typecast? And then Robin sort of swoops in and diverts the, Oprah goes.
And trying to find the actual clip of that.
But Robin just does it so seamlessly, and like in the clip, you can kind of see such a breath of relief from Nathan that this is happening, because obviously it's coming out. Even today is hard. It can be hard. But in the 90s and obviously any time before now, like that was hard to do, especially as like if you had a professional career, you could ruin your entire professional career. I'm glad we brought that up, because that is, I think, just once again, obviously you're reading his biography. Everyone who I've ever heard talk about Robin just has always said how great of a person he was. Like obviously he had his flaws, as any
Everybody
person does. But he really was, I think, a phenomenal person.
Yeah, I think he's definitely in that category of sort of that late 80s, early 90s liberal aspect. Like he's very much a Bill Clinton liberal.
Yeah.
Where I think very much so, he's definitely an ally to the LGBTQ plus community. Has he made some jokes that looking back at it now are I'm not so
at
sure.
the same time, it's I think one of the biggest things, I think, when comedians make offhanded jokes, it comes down to do they actually mean it? Because not to go on a tangent, but I love Daniel Tosh, but this man is so liberal. If you actually ever listen to him on the podcast, he's such a good guy for the most part, once again, but he makes some crazy offhanded jokes, but he's I don't mean any of this shit. So I think Robin Williams just is a phenomenal comedian, and he knows how to play room, and he knows what jokes to make, and he's but anything he makes, I think, is offhand. You clearly know that he doesn't mean that.
What I think Robin has as a comedian, that also this film's directed by Mike Nichols and it's written by Elaine May.
Yeah.
In the 60s, the two of them were a comedy duo, Nichols and May, and they did comedy shows, and eventually both branched into directing films. And Mike Nichols did The Graduate and became one of the most successful filmmakers of the era. And Elaine May did 4 incredible films, and then the last one flopped, and they said a woman will never direct again. And she's never been allowed to direct a movie since.
Talking about sexism in Hollywood.
Yeah. She's the ultimate example. But she writes this movie, the two of them getting back together. And their humor, in the same way of Robin's, is very insightful and is also knows how to make fun of something without demeaning it.
Yeah. Obviously they make fun of the conservative right, but there's nothing in it that's would prevent I have a conservative family who love the Birdcage, and they find it hilarious of some of the jokes.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's this has kind of that conservative audience. I feel like when I told my dad, I was I've never seen the Birdcage, and my dad is not a conservative person, but he was shocked that I'd never seen it. He's oh, this is one of my favorite movies. I love the Gene Hackman character in it. I think it's hilarious.
This movie lampoons. It obviously leans more on lampooning the conservative side than the liberal gay side. But it actively,
they actively make fun of the gays. They really do.
It makes jokes at both groups. It makes jokes about both groups, but never at their expense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's never trying to demean.
Obviously Nathan
characters.
plays a very flamboyant character, a very flamboyant gay man. And we could bring up the scenes where Robin's trying to teach Nathan's character how to be masculine, how to be not a flamboyant man. And my scene is when they're in the cafe and they're oh, you pierced the toast, so what?
Yeah.
Because he was trying to smear. We don't dabble, we smear.
Really? Absolutely. Oh.
Get the
goddamn pinky down.
Keep the pinky down.
Yeah, stop trembling. Hold the knife boldly and straight.
I pierced the toast.
So what? The important thing to remember is not to go to pieces when that happens.
So they're poking fun at obviously it's people who are on the conservative right are oh, these gay men are just super flamboyant, useless people, whatever, and obviously vice versa. And this scene is absolutely hilarious. I also just love when he does the John Wayne walk, and he does it pretty well. And then Robin's looking at him and he's like, what, and
much?
Nathan's like, too much? And he's like, no, I just never realized John Wayne walked like that.
He was right. Because you do watch John Wayne walk, and it's like, but I think like, ultimately,
Jack Sparrow sway.
what makes this movie so good is like all these characters feel so real and fleshed out and have emotional arcs of their own, and that allows you to have like these over the top jokes. Because like you understand these are real people, and like real people are weird and real people are funny.
Yeah.
And like you can make fun of real people and their quirks without ever feeling like you're diminishing them, because this movie's respecting them as real people.
That is such a human aspect to this
Yes,
movie.
this movie's
There's
very
not a
human.
single character in this movie that I'm like, that's not. They didn't write a person. They wrote just a random character.
Like is Nathan Lane's character like ridiculous at times? Of course, people are ridiculous. People are like that.
Exactly. I'm friends with multiple drag queens who act like Nathan Lane.
Is it funny? Absolutely. We can laugh at it, but like at the same time, know that we're laughing at something in a not mean-spirited way.
Yeah.
We're just laughing because it is funny.
Exactly.
And that's why this movie, like, it works so well. It's never mean-spirited, and you're just like, you're along for the ride, and you're like, I laughed with these people, not against them.
Oh, I think another great scene is when Nathan is directing Starina and they're doing like a rehearsal, and it's like this like dumb bimbo who is like chewing gum, and he's like, he can't be chewing gum when I'm singing.
He's like, I have to chew gum to think. It's like, you're going to need a lot more gum.
There's so many good lines in this movie. I mean, sadly, I haven't quoted it in a while, but Jeff and I and Becca used to quote this like all the time when we were in college. It'll have to come to me back. It'll have to come to me at some point during the rest of this podcast. But like, there's a line in the beginning that I just absolutely love, and I'm gonna have to look it up. But like it,
even like Hank Azaria's character in this movie,
Agador.
like Agador,
Spartacus.
like this is a role I'm thinking like, okay, this will be like kind of an insert, like borderline glorified background role with a little bit of flavor to it, like whatever. And then like the dinner scene comes in, and just like
He gets a whole character.
he gets a whole character arc.
What kind of
like,
idiot sits at the table without looking at the bowls?
it's like,
Say sweet and sour peasant soup. What's that? Made it up.
and like
It's like a stew.
the famous like kitchen scene, which is always talked about how like they were like trying so hard not to break during the whole scene, and you can see a little bit of that
Robin
happening.
going for the bottle of whiskey.
Everything is going to hell.
You didn't make an entree.
What? What do you mean? We just have soup?
It's a soup is an entree. It's like a stew. What do you think I put so much in it for?
Shut up!
Here's a note for Catherine. Go put it on the downstairs door. I've got to get back there before they eat enough to see the bottom of the bowl. Major things to do. You don't give me no time to chow.
Shut up! It's okay. We're all right. It's fine. Just shut up, goddamn you. It's all right. Stop crying. Goddamn you. What are you standing there for? Go. Go. She'll be here in a minute. Go. Damn it.
Oh my god! Oh, wait.
Fuck the shrimp.
Fuck the shrimp.
Which I just have a feeling this was like mostly improv.
Oh
like,
my
like
God.
there's no way you could write this. This just has to be like how these characters interacted in that scene. Like the fuck the shrimp line.
Yeah.
There's no way that was written
It's
in,
like
in the actual script.
The moment he like falls down, it's like he like any other actor would have been like, oh shit, sorry guys, let's take it back from the top. Not Robin though. He's like, nope, this is going.
He's like, this is how this scene would go in
Stop
real
crying.
life.
Get a hold of yourself. Fuck the shrimp. Oh man, and like everyone's clearly trying not to lose their mind in this.
What
scene.
I love about the fuck the shrimp is that he like Hank Azaria is like so invested in getting the shrimp in the stew that even amidst all the stress, he still throws it in the pot when he walks past. He's like, fuck the shrimp.
Oh my gosh, it's too good.
And then obviously the bowls of
Yeah.
young Greek boys playing leapfrog
Mine
with
has a
each other.
girl. Doesn't yours have a girl?
Oh, I don't know. It's been a while since you've seen a girl, but that's a boy.
Oh man. I mean, this movie is so.
We could just this whole episode could just be us quoting this movie.
Yeah,
much.
it really could be. The one thing I am gonna say about this, Val, played by Dan Futterman. So like,
Oh yes.
there's a lot of scenes in this movie where it's like, you know, my partner and I are watching this, and like, very much like, I mean, obviously Val says like, hey, we got to take down the decor, we got to like put up different kinds of decorations. I love that they fucking turn into a monastery basically with the big crucifix and shit. But then like there's multiple like emotional scenes where like Nathan Lane just like isn't able to like be who he isn't sort of. And like the scene where he's walking, it's like, I understand. Like, I get it. You all hate me. And like walks away. And like my partner and I were like, Jesus Christ, like fuck Val. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, Val coming in and being like, "You have to do this," is like such a dick thing to do.
Yeah.
It's
especially because like I think the most progressive things of this movie, obviously besides the things that hits you in the face the most, is the fact that like Robin Williams' character like took this baby as a single father. Like obviously he got a woman pregnant by mistake.
he's not a gold star.
He's not a gold star gay. He lost that. But he raised this child with Nathan, and like
Who Val even calls multiple times like that. Nathan is his mother.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like fuck Val for coming in and being like, you need to go back in the closet, which is why there's that huge scene where Robin does that little dialogue. It was like, I may not be the straightest or whatever that scene is. But that's why I think it hits so hard is because you have like, he raised his son, and he raised his son obviously being very like progressive. Like he was raised by gay parents, which is like in the 90s which is not very common at that point. Like most states would not allow you to adopt. Obviously up until, over whatever the Supreme Court case for gay marriage was, a lot of states who had like, you couldn't foster or adopt as a gay parent in like 30 something states. So like that was a very progressive aspect of this film at the time.
Yeah. And it's the thing of like watching this in like my 2025 brain. It's like, I'm obviously sitting here being like Val, like fuck the senator, fuck the in-laws.
We do stupid
like,
things for love.
That's the thing. It's like trying to think of this from like the lens of like 1996. And it's like, okay, like I guess like it's trying to be progressive in its own way of being like, hey, like I love this woman and like I'm going to marry her. Yes,
and he's
I'm
obviously not trying to hide it from her. Like she's fully aware of it. It's obviously just because of the parents, but like she's obviously very accepting. She kind of goes against her father and her mother. So like, the fiance is like kind of a good person.
Yeah.
I like her. And obviously they eventually get married. But like obviously, back to the whole, we do stupid things for love, but
Like we do stupid things for. I also like. First, I just want to say, how old do you think Callista Flockhart is in this movie? She's playing 18.
I think she's 26. I don't know.
How old do you think she is?
Because he also looks 30. Val looks 30.
She's 31.
Oh my God.
How old's Val?
Let me find out how old.
Because
Val
he's
is.
like, oh, I'm playing a 21-year-old, and I was like, you're.
Dan Futterman is younger than her.
And he looks at his mid 30s.
He's like 27 in this. Like I was fully like, yeah, Callista Flockhart's probably about 18.
Maybe that's why we have that weird like thing about when we look at like our past generations. Like, why do they look so much older? It's because all the movies were like being played by 30-year-olds playing 18-year-olds.
man.
Good Lord.
We didn't believe in children actors back then. I don't know.
But I liked, it's another one of this movie's like smart, like subtle observations is like the two of them, you tend to rebel against your parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that he wants to tone down his parents to appease like the conservative side.
Right. But
she wants to like, piss her parents off by going to the liberal side. And like they both have this desire to rebel. Which is like not a major aspect of the movie, but it's just like a smart little observation that's thrown in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing of like she's never at any point being like, hey, like his parents are two gay men. Like you guys got to be less conservative to not piss them off or something. Like that's never a conversation in the scene. Again, 2025 filter, so it's like 1996 filter. It's like understandably like with the viewpoint of like that is still like, if not like they say at one point like half the country's conservative. It's like maybe half the. Well, I don't know. Like maybe half the country is like homophobic at that point, but certainly a lot more like not as accepting as we are today. And so the whole very idea that I'm having of like, well, why doesn't she tell her conservative parents to dial down the conservatism? Like, so I don't know. It's like that would have been an interesting like spoof on its own right as well of just being like, Mom, Dad, I know you guys are like, pro-life and all these things and pro-gun. How about we like dial that back a little bit?
Yeah.
Maybe wear some color. And it's like just a total opposites coming in
Yeah.
where they're like wearing like actual like clothing, and then Robin Williams and Nathan Lane are in full suits and like, Mr. Goldman, nice to meet you, sir. Like,
Goldman or Coldman?
There seems to be some confusion.
The G is silent, and that's how we know if we're here or there. There's the scene at the end when Gene Hackman gets put in drag that I just pulled up, and I think the quote is hilarious. And he's talking to his daughter, and he goes, "No one will dance to me. I think in this dress, I'm told, and white would make me look fat." Because he's like complaining that they put him in a white dress.
Yeah.
He's like, I told him white would make me look fat. And he's like, don't leave me here. I don't want to be the only girl not dancing. And then he ends up dancing with Nathan Lane.
oh my gosh.
I think that this movie makes like the observation, true or not, that the further you go in either direction, you kind of loop back around to the same level of like, like you loop back to the same level where like the ultra conservative man is very concerned about how dressed he is,
Yeah.
about how he looks in the dress,
Yeah.
and
He obviously knew that white was not his color.
yes, I think that's like the more like sheltered and closed off you become, the more this stuff matters. Like, I don't know. I just think it's a very like this movie's like really engaging with this stuff. It's not trying to just be funny. It's really poking the bear and like having these ideas and tossing them out.
The writing alone in this is fantastic.
The Lane May script is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's just a great movie. I think we start going through it.
I mean, like, if we can go through the plot,
I think we should, just because like it would help me. It will help remind me of all the good things all the lines I want to say.
Well, I mean, obviously we start at the titular Birdcage.
Yes.
The drag club. There's an amazing performance going on where they're singing "We Are Family."
Yes.
And Robin Williams, who is the owner of the club.
My grandmother loved this movie.
Your grandmother loved this
she
movie?
would think about this song all the time and think she would call it the "We Are Family" movie
We Are Family movie.
because she liked this opening scene so much.
That's great. And so I think one of his stagehands is like, hey, like, is it Starina? Starina. It's like, Starina, she's not coming out of her dressing room yet. It's like, well, what's going on? And so they put on like an act as like a buffer, and he goes up to the apartment, and then we get Nathan Lane with his wig cap on, but he's still like not fully dressed yet, not fully in hair and makeup, and he's just like sobbing in the bed. And what's the guy? Agador is there, and he's like,
Miss Starina.
Starina.
I hesitate to say anymore.
And then eventually Nathan gets ready, and he's like complaining. He's like, I'm now old and fat and short. And Nathan's like, I made you short?
Well, the way they convince Nathan Lane to go on stage is Robin picks like
Carmella will
he's
go
like,
on instead.
Tell Carmen she's got to go on, and it's just like, Carmen doing my number.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
So eventually he gets ready and goes downstairs, and obviously he's trying to get him out of the house so his son Val can come up, and because he's visiting.
Well, because they lead on with being like, white wine. I know you don't drink white wine.
Yeah.
And I don't drink white wine.
You're seeing a younger man.
And it's like, when are you going to tell Albie about the other guy you're seeing? Like, oh, it just brushes it off, and then in the middle of Albert's number, Starina's number, then we get Val walks in. Angelica, who had never seen this movie before, was like, this is going to be the twist of like it's his son or some bullshit.
Yeah.
And she called it right away.
Yeah, of course.
It is.
Because if it was like cheating, it would just be like, oh, no, it'd be so stupid. It'd be like any other movie.
It does commit to like kind of the red herring that it is a younger man he's seeing for longer than you'd expect.
Yes.
Yeah,
like,
it does take a little bit before them to be like, Dad.
Yeah. Like it takes up until I'm getting married.
Because they do like
before it comes out. Like they commit for minutes longer. Like going in, I was like, oh, I forgot that like they're really trying to lead you on here for a while.
Because like he does like the hairbrush thing, and Angelica's like, yeah, that's totally his son. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, he that was like a oh my boy, your hair kind of that wasn't like a lover hair twirl. It's like I know the difference. And then the reveal of like so I have something to tell you, I'm getting married. Which Val character in the movie is 20 and he's marrying an 18-year-old. But then they say something a little problematic. They say, yeah, we've been hooking up for the past year, which means
this is the 90s.
Well,
We don't need to go into this.
I'm
This
just
is
saying.
the 90s.
Stuart, this is the Jerry Seinfeld era of like 1738. Or
People were getting married at
People were
the
getting
age of
married.
18 after dating someone who was 20, 22. This is just
It was
the era.
happening.
It was happening. This is not 2025.
no one seems to want to talk about
This
it.
is why we have
don't
to.
have to talk
Stuart's
about
saying
it.
we have to return to moral order.
No.
Anyway, but like, the two like they're getting married, and Robin Williams is just like he decides he's gonna play his bluff and like tell him you got to get out of the house. You're not welcome here anymore. And then Val plays along with it, calls his bluff.
Yep.
Robin's like, if you want to get married, of course you can.
Yeah.
I don't
Obviously,
have to.
Robin's just being a dad. And I think it's like such a cute little moment between the two of them. But he's playing like any dad. Like he's playing like the dad who's gonna make jokes, be sarcastic, and that's obviously very much the character that he is in the entire movie. But then eventually, obviously, I love when they like get on the phone together, and he's like, "Oh, congratulations!" and he breaks his glass on the fucking phone. And then the mom and dad like hop on the line.
Gene Hackman's listening.
Gene Hackman's listening. And then this is the beginning of all the lies, which is like, wait, you said his parents were in Greece. How are they together now?
Yeah.
They're back for the winter. And it's just like the beginning of this like huge like snowballing effect lie. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, it probably is kind of all her fault of why, because like he didn't ask them to go like tone it down until like after she continued to lie about so,
The cultural
attestation to Grace. So it was like this is on her. I'm gonna blame her.
Yeah.
And Val just being the dumb man here, and also one being in love, being like, okay, I'm gonna do what my girl wants.
Because like it's Gene Hackman who's like, well, clearly we must go see like his parents, and like we must make sure like we have to, because they have the scandal, and that's the other thing too. So like,
Well, he doesn't commit to going until after the scandal.
that's what,
happens.
that's what I mean.
But like
It's
she tries to like, we need a big white wedding
Big-
to flip the narrative.
they say big white wedding a lot in this movie.
I like the
Mamma Mia.
the build up to the scandal is such a funny sequence to me.
Yes.
Because it starts with Gene Hackman turning the TV on, and you see Eli Jackson, who's the senator. I can't remember, senator from like Wyoming or something,
Kentucky or something.
Kentucky, and he's just like on the TV yelling, and it's like a CNN crossfire thing where it's him, Hackman, and two random guys, and they're all just screaming at each other. You can't make out anything that they say.
Yeah.
And Hackman's just like, or Dianne Wiest is just like, I think it's lovely, Kevin. Yeah, his name's Kevin. I think it's lovely, Kevin. He's like, it's the most intelligent show on television. And it's like the pinnacle of that like nonsense TV show where everyone just screams at each other.
Yeah. It's just the classic like news.
It's conservative talk radio.
it's
That's
a
literally all it
conservative-
is.
It's just screaming. And then like the maid comes in and is like, oh, your campaign manager's on the line. He says it's urgent. And he picks up the phone. He's like, what? And Diane's like, what, honey?
Jackson's
He turns-
dead.
Jackson's dead. With another, you just pulled it up.
pulled it up.
He can do it better than me.
Hello, Ben. Ready for what? What?
What's the matter, Kevin?
Jackson's dead.
Oh my God.
He died in bed. Whose bed? A prostitute?
No.
A minor? And black? What? I don't believe this. I don't fucking believe this.
I like that he's.
I also love it's just that he immediately has like no sympathy towards him, and he's like, I'm ruined. This is about me now. I'm ruined. This is me.
That he's not angry until black.
Yeah.
I like that he's like,
minor I can deal with.
like when he finds out
Prostitute
Jackson's
I
dead,
can
he just
deal
turns
with.
to his wife. He's like, Jackson's dead. Like he's very fine with it. And then it's whose bed? Oh, a prostitute, minor, black. Like that's what he's just like. He's like up until that point. He's like, we can make it through
It's the
this.
trifecta that's gonna kill him.
It's that it was a minority is like what's going to be so offensive to his base. Not that his like person died in the bed with an underage prostitute.
Also, the scene when she gets the prostitute gets interviewed. I don't know. I didn't know something was wrong. He was smiling. Like they play such a horrible stereotype, but it just hits so hard to be the opposite of what the movement is.
Yes.
Yeah.
The alt-right, their conservative movement is in the movie. It's just that scene's like, I don't know. He was smiling though.
It's very good. And so like immediately Gene Hackman is beset on all sides by the press.
Oh yeah, they're
swarmed
stalking.
his
They're
house.
stalking his house. He tries to sneak out of the house. Eventually, they start driving to South Beach, Miami, which is because like they can't charter a plane because they're gonna get spotted or whatever. But they're obviously followed by these two journalists who eventually follow them all the way down to Miami, and then they end up buying their chauffeur off to tell them like which club they went into.
This chauffeur, very fucking cheap.
Yeah,
This
the
guy
chauffeur like
gets-
tells them where they're going for like $50.
Yeah. And he gets
I mean,
paid
this
off
is the
like
90s. 50 bucks
9
is like-
times. He gets paid off by.
You could buy 100 gumballs with $50 in the 90s.
Yeah. So eventually, obviously, they make it to Miami and they meet up. But like the whole leading up to that point, obviously, you're seeing like the behind the scenes of the drag show. You're seeing them out in the public. You're seeing like how excited Nathan was when Val came home. He's like walking around picking up all the like desserts and food for them to make a family dinner. And like she's like obviously like she helped raise Val, so it was like it's a cute little thing. She's like
She
my
buys him a cake.
boy is home. Yeah.
And then she grabs like, I'm going to try one of these chocolate schneckens. Eats a lovely
Schnecken for the Becken.
Walking out the door. I'll just grab another Schnecken. When the Schnecken beckons. It's so good.
But it's like it's nice to see like they have such a huge like role in their little community they have there. It's just so cute. And like their marriage is adorable. I think there's a great I'm going to skip ahead in the movie a little bit. But when after like Nathan like catches Robin with his ex, not the ex, the mother of Val.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're kind of like doing a little like it's
I didn't understand
a little
that
raunchy.
point. Like, what was going on there?
Because like obviously, I mean, Robin's a good-looking man, and so is she. And like they were drinking, they were like having a good time, and they were like recreating like
one of their dance routines
they did or whatever. And obviously, it's a little sexual. And Nathan walks in at the most opportune time to see something that's like, oh no. And he like runs away in the car, and eventually Nathan catches up to him.
He's like, he drove the car. Great, he's gonna take him 2 hours to get here because it's sucking park.
Yeah, because he has the fucking parking brake on. And then eventually when he like runs away with his little toothbrush to go to,
I just came to grab my toothbrush.
Yes. And there's a great little scene, and I think it's a great just marital parent dynamic that they have. Like you can replace either character with a man or woman or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just like you obviously as when you get married, like you're married to your spouse, and then when you have kids changes everything, but yet you're still a spouse to the person. You're still a husband or wife. And I think this scene of obviously they can't get married yet, but they have like a palimony agreement, and Nathan wants one, Robin hasn't done it yet. Where he's like, I call one place home, and it's where you're at. And it's this beautiful little scene of like, obviously Robin loves his son and wants to do whatever he can for his son. But at the same time, he's like, this is my husband. This is the man that I love. This is the reason why I call home. And it's this great little dynamic of like, when you have kids in marriage, obviously that can add a lot of rift because you're now focusing more on one person than your spouse. And I think that's just a beautiful human interaction between those two that I think can hit literally anyone who's in that situation of like, how do you play? I obviously love my children very much, but I also love my spouse very much, and trying to find that because it's hard, and it's a very human thing. And I love that scene, and I also just love how simple it was. It was just that one wide shot for the most part. They go in for coverage, and they have like the beautiful like
that scene is just like it's the best scene of the movie because it's so human, like you're saying. But also that opening shot of it was just the wide. And it's just Robin Williams getting out of his car, and he goes over to Nathan Lane sitting on the bench, and it just plays out the whole thing in the wide because there's a massive ship, cruise ship, just
huge
going
cargo
by in
ship
the background. And just like, they can't cut away from it because it's the only shot they have with the ship going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that you have to just kind of linger in this wide and watch them, how small they are in the face of this like grand world and this massive ship that's going by. But how important this moment is for them, no matter how small they like may seem in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really beautiful visual storytelling.
It really is. They did
Mike Nichols.
It was. No, I would agree. It's one of my favorite scenes of that movie, just because it's like it just hits so emotionally.
Yeah, and I think that a wonderful bit of storytelling is also just like the juxtaposition between like as we're going through the Nathan Lane and Robin Williams plotline, how they're just out and about in their community. They're very open. They go to all these different businesses.
Yeah.
Whereas whenever we cut back to Callista Flockhart and Gene Hackman,
They're the ones hiding.
they're trapped. They're hiding. And I think that that's just a really like lovely like juxtaposition is Robin Williams and Nathan Lane, they're out and about, they're open, and Gene Hackman is the one who's trapped inside hiding.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a wonderful role reversal from what you'd expect from like the politics of this movie.
Yeah.
Is how Gene Hackman is the one who really is hiding. Like he's trapped inside, he's trapped in his car. You never see him out and about until the very end of the movie when he puts a dress on.
Exactly.
That's the first time you see Gene Hackman outside.
Yeah.
And I think that is wonderful.
Yeah.
Is that's the first time he really feels like he can be free is when he puts a dress on and accepts it.
And he looks fat in it. Sorry, Gene
Yes,
Hackman.
a little fat.
White's not your color.
There's the fucking scene where like he's climbing out the window on the ladder and all of the press finds him there and he's just answering questions.
Then he does like the Nixon.
He does the
piece.
Nixon. He goes,
You sent me that gif yesterday.
yeah.
One thing I wanted to point out when Rob Williams is talking to Catherine, Christina Baranski, and they mention it's like the way that they kind of phrase it is that he was already like if not out, at least like knew that he was gay already at that point, and that it was just like a random hookup, like experimenting
with the
with
he knew he was gay, but so the thing is she bribes the doorman because he was in a show and she's like had a crush on him, and so she bribes the doorman $20, you know, like $20 back in the day, to get into his room before she got home. And obviously she is a very beautiful woman. Maybe I would have done it back in the day. And I did actually, my Christmas card, I did play her as from Jim Carrey's The Grinch, but
Very
good.
But like, you know, they end up hooking up, and he's like a little drunk, and he's like, you know what, why not? I'll see what all the hype is about.
Yeah.
And you know, the one, of course,
It's
a great thing for the moral conservative moment going, you have sex, you're gonna get pregnant and die, or have a child. But because, you know, the one time they have sex, you know,
A child
It
produced.
is
then-
like how many times? Like twice and until 4 a.m.
Exactly. And then obviously she became this like big like workout empire gym in Miami, and it's because he gave her the money to start it in order to to be the dad to Val and take
Like
Val
he took care of her.
as sole custody. So like you have this like, it's not like they like ever fought about it. Like he obviously gave her the money to then turn into like this like empire. She's obviously she's very successful. She's obviously doing very well.
Yeah.
But he's like, well, you know, she's like, well, you know, I got the gym, and he's like, but I got Val.
Yeah.
And
And it seems like at the end of the day of it, there wasn't, like you said, Scott, there wasn't like any like turbulence in that whole thing, that it seemed like they just came to a very like adult conversation consensus about it. It's like, hey, like I want to raise Val, and
And she obviously was like, I
she's
don't
like,
want a child.
I don't want to be a mother, and we're in agreement. Cool.
And it's like also just, you know, another subtle like hint about like the role reversal this movie's playing with, where it's like Gene Hackman is so concerned about like abortion as a concept.
Yeah. And just like the moral family and all this
And
stuff.
the moral family. But the father who steps up was Robin Williams.
was
That
a gay man.
He took in this child. He was a gay man, and he took in this child.
Yeah.
And I think it's just one of those many little things this movie's sprinkling in about like the diametrically opposed viewpoints that aren't that like.
And family is not, the definition of family is not a cookie cutter
Yeah.
thing. It's very,
I think,
very different.
Yeah.
And
Family can be
and it
anything.
doesn't change the morality of the family. It doesn't
Yeah.
change the love of the family.
Yeah.
It's all, as you said, these very little subtle things throughout the entire movie. They're not like thrown in your face, but they're thrown, but they're put out there in such a true human-like aspect where it's just that is the film because that's how it could potentially be.
Because I think you said it best. It's like not every family is going to be a cookie cutter family. Because like there's a version of this movie that I don't think would have been like as very well subtly told, where it's like, and it's also very clear to Val that like he doesn't have hard feelings against his mom for not raising him. Like there isn't a scene where he is like, why were you never there for me, mom? Blah, 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 blah. Like, or, you know, oh, I've always wanted to raise you, son. Like none of that's in the movie because it's very understood. It's like, no, like everyone got the better end of the deal of this. Like nobody left like unhappy. Nobody was wronged in this situation. This was their family. He was raised by two loving parents and she got to do what she wanted to do. And the only harmful thing involved in this entire thing is the fact that this conservative family is forcing Val to sort of drag his biological mother. It's also,
I think, another great little thing. It's like the right even today is still like you're pushing your agenda on us, and in reality, it's like, what the hell are you talking about? You're like this entire movie is literally like the conservative right was pushing the straight agenda on this gay couple who was obviously very fine with living in their own little way. It's to like conform to them. And it's like it's the complete opposite of what their whole message viewpoint is of going, you're pushing this agenda on us and it like continues you're gonna turn us gay. Well, he did turn him into a drag queen, so maybe they were right.
There's like this really funny sketch that I want to play that's I think points to that as a T. It's like where it's like this, you know, a gay agenda they're just forcing down our throats. It's like, oh, well, they're not saying you have to be gay. It's like, oh, too late. I already married a man.
They telling me I gotta get gay married? Okay, Bobby, no one's telling you gotta get gay married. Too late! I done married my buddy Zeke. Howdy. That's fishy. Not even
too late.
That's what turned me gay.
And they're just like, ugh. They're just like forced.
No one's telling you to get gay married. Too late.
Right? I already did it.
I already married my buddy Zeke.
Oh my God,
this movie's
that's good.
We're raising a child together.
This movie's so smart. It's so observant.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to say, and Scott, you can attest to whether this is true or not. I feel like Christine Baranski, I love her, being in The Birdcage.
Yeah.
Martha May Whovier.
Yep.
2 Mamma Mia movies.
Yes.
Gay royalty?
She's gay icon. I would argue she's definitely like a gay icon. I mean, she plays these like very like powerful woman cunty roles.
Yeah.
Like obviously her in The Grinch where she's like this like beautiful character who always has the best outfits, has the best lighting, like, you know, getting married to or getting engaged to the mayor or whatever. And then obviously in Mamma Mia playing the I am on my 4th divorce.
Yes.
I'm putting donkey testicle cream on my face. Like she's like still looks gorgeous at her age. Absolutely. There's a reason why I dressed up as her for my Christmas card the other year.
Your Christmas card was incredible.
Thank you. If you want to hop on the Scotty Ho Christmas card mailing list, follow me on Instagram.
Follow me on Instagram.
And next year's is already planned. But like she is phenomenal. I definitely I don't think there's a single gay man that I'm aware of who doesn't love her in a specific role.
I was just thinking, because like obviously she's done a lot in her career, but I was thinking like that trifecta is like, it's like powerful.
Yeah.
It's like you're in all 3 of them.
Yeah. No, she's amazing. And she obviously has a pretty small role in this movie, but like it's still a very impactful role. And like, you know, she shows up for the little bit of the movie with Nathan and at the gym, and then at the very end where like, you know, it is kind of nice to see, and you can flash forward to the end of the movie, like she's at the wedding too, and you can see how proud she is, and obviously she's probably not just proud of Val, but she's very proud of, you know, Armin Goldman, Robin's character, of how well of a job he did raising her son that she gave up to, you know, trace her career and, you know, live her own life. And like that in itself is a very powerful frame at the end of the movie of like seeing the pride and joy she has. And obviously someone she's met once, obviously birthed him, but gave up and then didn't have any aspect in his life. But like that relationship is still very powerful.
Yeah, and like she says, like, I'm not very maternal. I don't think I would have been a good mother. I didn't really have an interest in it.
Yeah.
But like I still have curiosity about this kid, and like I want to make sure he's okay and that he's good.
Yeah.
And I think she just feels pride at the end of
and
like,
sometimes, like, you know, obviously I never want children, but sometimes the best thing you can do for your child is, especially if you don't think you're capable of doing it, is giving it up for adoption or whatever. Like, you know, that's a whole different topic and debate. But like making those decisions for your children is very, very hard. And like, obviously as a parent, you have to make some difficult decisions to raise your children. And she obviously made a very difficult decision, regardless if she was like, I didn't see myself being a mother. That's still something very hard for her to do. Yeah. And she obviously still has some kind of love and respect and care for this child that she did not raise. And like, it obviously comes out because she had no problem immediately going, she's like, I wasn't there for 20 years of his life. I can be here now because he needs me now. Yeah. Is another very powerful aspect of this film.
The other thing about with Catherine's role, like, and I think it was such a small detail, but I caught on to it very quickly. When she walks in the apartment and she introduces herself as Val's mom, and Gene Hackman's like, so
how many mothers does your son have?
What is that noise?
That was a little crazy.
What is it?
I don't know.
Smoke alarm, maybe?
Hold on, I'm gonna just... So when she walks in and Gene Hackman's like, how many mothers does Val have? And Val comes out with the truth and says, actually, and then take off Albie's wig, reveal that Albie is indeed a man. It's like, she is my mother. And, you know, there's like, again, Mike Nichols, I think, is so smart because there isn't like a shot of Catherine feeling sad, having a sad reaction to that line, which I think is the point.
Yeah.
Because
she
again,
knows.
just to go back to like what we're trying to say here, it's like not every family is a cookie cutter like family. Like
she walks over and she says, "It is so nice to meet you, Val, and I am so proud of you."
Yeah.
And it's just like Christine Baranski knows what she's there for.
She knows what she's there for. And it is not offensive to her to hear Val call somebody else his mother, because she knows that is the truth of it. And she knows the choices she's made. And it's not offensive to anybody involved in this whole story and arrangement. Everybody got the better end of the deal with how this worked out. But from like if you had like a conservative viewpoint looking onto this family lifestyle, you'd think like, oh, like surely either the mother must be sad that she's not with the child, or the child must be sad that he's not with his mom. Like, it's like, no, it's like you're latching on your own previous like viewpoint of what a family should look and feel like. What?
Meow.
What?
Hey, cat corner.
Just don't. Okay.
But I think like, it just, you know, everything about this movie is in service of that central idea. Yeah. And everyone, you know, from the director to the screenplay, cinematography, cast, everybody is like in service of that. They're not trying to do their own thing. Everyone knows what the central idea here is about tolerance and acceptance.
Yeah.
And the comedy is like important to the movie, but it's like circumstantial to that. It's like the comedy comes from that.
Oh, and then so we can go back a little bit because we've skipped ahead further. But obviously, when they eventually show up in Miami and they, you know, join the family for dinner, they're waiting on Val's biological mother to show up, but she's trapped in traffic. They don't know about that yet. And Nathan Lane's character is out of the house, and then eventually as they're sitting and having like drinks in their new monastery of a home.
And you think like Nathan Lane's just decided, like,
and then all of a sudden you hear like and then like some like things crashing. It's like, I thought your mother wasn't home. And then of course Nathan Lane comes out of the bedroom because she's climbed through the window.
Yes.
Dressed as this like conservative looking woman.
Yeah.
And then Atticus Spartacus their like maid walks out and just loses his shit and starts laughing and starts pointing.
He's
at
like,
her.
But what does that hair do?
And like, obviously, it's just hilarious that Gene Hackman's character and his wife in it are just so oblivious to the fact that he's a man, and
Gene Hackman like starts getting feelings.
gets like flirting with her
Yeah.
because she's like obviously playing this conservative, like stay-at-home mother figure that like in Gene Hackman's world is like the ideal woman.
Yes.
And it's just absolutely hilarious to watch that dynamic because you can see Val and Robin Williams, one trying not to like lose their shit in real life, but also like freaking out internally as their character of going, holy fuck, like we are literally on like like an inch thick of ice right now, and at any moment this can come crashing
the whole
through.
Charade will collapse.
Exactly. And they are living on this like high, like that's why that eventually boils up to that scene we played from the kitchen where they're all freaking the fuck out because it's starting to
Everything's falling
unravel
apart.
and they're like freaking out about it, and they have this huge blow up moment when they're in the kitchen, and it's just like that's what leads you up to that is you see this like this super tense thing for them while Nathan Lane is having a great time playing this character, and she's like playing this like a little conservative woman who's just like believes in moral values and stay-at-home mothers and like gays in the military. Oh, those uniforms. So
it's just so funny that Nathan Lane's having such a good time. Like his character. Albert is having such a good time playing this role. And like he's actually mostly agreeing with Gene Hackman earnestly.
Yeah.
Like he's like gays in the military. Like he could not fathom being in the military.
No.
Like he's almost like agreeing with Gene Hackman on most of his points, and I don't think he's playing it up for some of it. He's like gays in the military.
It's like, oh,
he
God,
thinks that's
no.
a ridiculous concept.
But for the other reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Robin Williams like facial expression in this scene.
No,
because he is
that's what I have
so
to
He's a
pull.
very expressive person.
This is I rewound and watched this 3 times. And so his face when he walks out of the kitchen and hears what the conversation has shifted to is the funniest shit ever. It's like relatable.
Of course, it's very wrong to kill an abortion doctor.
Oh my god!
When he's just like, of course, it's very wrong to kill an
Kill
abortion
the
doctor,
mothers.
and he just
They're gonna
stops.
kill
And he
them.
just stops. He can't believe in the 3 minutes he's been gone, the conversation has shifted to killing abortion.
This is like me going home to talk to my conservative family. How quickly it can fucking turn.
That is so relatable to when you are with conservative like family members.
Yeah.
And you leave the room and you're like, okay, we're talking
This
about
is civil. We're having a civil
or
conversation.
like, we're talking about football. I'm going to leave the room for 3 minutes and you come back and it's like, well, I'm not saying we should kill the abortion doctors. You're like, how did this happen so quick?
Oh my God. Robin's.
Well, the doctors are just doing their jobs. I say you should kill the mothers.
Kill the
the baby's already going to be dead anyway. Might as well go down with the
Might as well
ship.
go down with the ship.
Oh my god!
I love that scene. And I also just love how simple this movie. There's no. It's 3 sets. You have Gene Hackman's home, you have the nightclub, and you have their apartment.
Yeah.
And like obviously little things sprinkled here and there.
There's like a few locations.
But like the majority of the film takes place inside of their home. And I just love you start with this like super flamboyant home, end up going to like a fucking monastery practically vibe of it. But I like how they adapted a screenplay to be very much like how it would be on film, and they kept the originality of that pretty closely from the original French stage play,
and like it's very contained,
and it plays so well.
And it's just characters bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
And like the nice thing about the confined space with several rooms is you can like kind of splinter groups off and have their own conversations, and then like. By the time you're getting to, I'm trying to think, it's just Hackman and Dianne Wiest in the room.
Yeah.
And Dianne Wiest is like, there's something weird going on here. And Gene Hackman decided he knows what's going on. She's a young she's a hometown.
You see how he tries to control her.
He says she's a small town girl. He's a
Living
rich
in a lonely
fuck.
world.
He's a rich fuck. Look what he did to her.
Which is hilarious because that's literally what Gene does. That's literally what his character is doing.
Yeah. No, he is self-actualizing what he did to Dianne Wiest, who is like getting more and more angry at him for caring more about Nathan Lane than she does about his own wife.
Oh yeah. It is. Oh my God. And the wife is obviously getting like this like weird jealousy of being like, my husband is flirting with another woman in front of me. Because like he very much is.
Yeah.
Towards the end, he's like, obviously after he's had a little bit of drinks, like he's very flirtatious with Nathan Lane's character and is like, oh my God, this is the perfect woman.
Yes. The ideal woman is, I think, what
She's a very, don't underestimate your mother. She's a very smart, intelligent woman.
Yeah. And it's selling so well. And I like that Gene Hackman just like keeps at drinking more scotch and eating more candies. Like it just keeps escalating.
I love that they add that bit that like when he's stressed, he just eats candy.
Yes.
Like that's such a nice little tidbit to his
I think
character.
he has like 7 scotches by the end of
It's
this.
supposed to be, I think that's a Nixon thing. Because Nixon wasn't Nixon who always had a thing of jelly beans
Yes.
on his desk. I think that's literally just playing up because he does
The Nixon
obviously he
thing.
does the Nixon like peace sign from when he was like, left office.
On his desk at home, he has that awful Photoshop of him with Nixon.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing in movies when they have like the nightmarish Photoshops on their desks.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's a picture of Nixon shaking someone's hand and then Gene Hackman's body has been like it's a different color as the rest of the image.
Because
And, like,
this is obviously when you had some prop guy in a truck trying to do it by hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was no Photoshop in 1996.
I mean, it's so funny. All the bits that are just happening, like it just more
Rapid
and more
fire.
rapid fire.
Yeah.
You almost sometimes you don't get a breath. Like there's certain scenes in this movie where it's just nonstop comedy, and you just like anything in the dinner scene like is just nonstop. You have the scenes when they're obviously getting ready for the performance. You have the scenes when he's trying to teach them how to be straight. There's just like every time you get to this like peak of a level of comedy, it's just nonstop until they eventually flip a scene.
And it has it has
And
the same like energy as Mrs. Doubtfire, where like you're just kind of building up to the show, to the main set piece of the movie.
It is very Doubtfire-esque.
Like, and you're just adding more and more lies and deceptions on top of each other. And building this like, Tower of Babel or whatever, Tower of Pisa, waiting for it to fall. And then like you get to the big set piece at the end, which is when this is all coming to a head and more just keeps happening. They keep adding lies that they now have. Like the story is becoming so complex that
which
you
is
have
what
to
I
maintain.
said. It's all the fiance's fault. She started it. This is her fault. End of story.
That's the beginning of the snowball.
And it's just so much. It's so satisfying to watch this happen and just like watch everything you've been building up to pay off like a slot machine.
Yeah.
And just the complete once Nathan Lane is in, we have this lie to maintain. Christine Baranski's a second lie to maintain. We have to maintain the lie of the last name. Agador and Spartacus. He is Guatemalan and Greek.
Two very close cultures, if you did not know.
Yes. I am the cultural attaché to Greece, but I also have a chateau in France and also Palm Beach property. We live above the club that was built here when it was just sand, but also Jewish. Like
the old expression,
but we're not.
There's
Not.
As if the next thing is gonna be
There's
Jews.
Like when they're saying, it's just such an insane like degree of lies they have to.
And they're like not even like good lies.
Yeah.
They're so shittily done, and yet Gene Hackman and the wife are just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Gene Hackman buys every single fucking thing that is told to him.
Well, and every time they step out of the room, it's like something weird is going on here.
Can't seem to put my finger on it.
He seems like a bad husbander.
and like there's that part where like
she needs someone who appreciates her.
Gene Hackman's like, I know what you've probably heard about Senator Jackson's death, and I just want to say, I understand if you're uncomfortable around us. And Nathan is just like, oh yes, of course we heard. We don't believe any of it, of course.
All liberal lies.
And he's like, that's just what Rush Limbaugh said.
The fact that this movie called like the fake news shot before.
Yeah,
the thing is, like, once again, these are the same repetitive tropes that have been going on, in politics forever. But it's just like the way they poke fun at all of it is so tasteful and so classy.
Yeah, it's so good.
And it's not, as we've been saying multiple times, it's never so blatantly in your face where it's just like takes away from it. Like, some movies have very blatant, like, quote unquote agendas.
It's almost like
this
it's
is just
so blatant that it's funny.
Yeah.
Like that's the juice to it.
Yeah. Right. This movie, the agenda of this movie is like it's almost very simple.
Yeah.
The agenda of this movie is just like, let's just point out the humor in like what's going on both sides of this.
Yeah.
And then make a point that we just need to come together.
Because we are
family. And like families can be weird and different.
Yeah.
And they can be half gay and half conservative. And it just kind of have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. That's like my family. Half of us are gay.
I just wanted, because I was looking at the letterbox for this movie to bring up like my review of it because I wanted to cross-check something.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the top reviews for this movie, and I would just like to read some of them for people because they are incredible. When they told Agador to put on some straight-looking clothes, and he showed up in a white crop top with straight-looking written on it, a true gay icon. The Sun is the biggest cinematic villain known to man.
Yes.
Facts.
Robin Williams' full-bodied horror when he walks back into the room and Gene Hackman is talking about killing abortion doctors is just some of the all-time funniest acting ever. God, I wish I had Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, and Christine Baranski as parents, but instead I have clinical depression. all the cultural references in this still work because the worst conservative politicians never die. Oh God, I pierced the toast. Chewing gum helps me think. Sweetie, you're wasting your gum.
I didn't know John Wayne walked like that.
Gay mustachioed Robin Williams is
Gay
honestly my
mustachio?
dream man. I just wanted to quickly read those because I thought they were important.
My God, those
So
are iconic.
good. Oh, really good. Really, really good.
I love the internet sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it pops off. Sometimes it's bad and bad things happen, but sometimes it pops off.
Ultra conservatives truly never fucking die.
No.
So.
Oh my God. Classic.
And like another like good observation is just like when they like the big reveal happens that Nathan Lane is not a woman.
The wig comes off.
The wig quite literally comes off. And they're like, and Gene Hackman cannot process it.
He is so flabbergasted. But I don't understand.
Like Dianne Wiest immediately understands everything that's happening.
They're two gay
She's
men.
like, they're two gay men. And the thing that Gene Hackman can't get over is, you're Jewish? He's just like, Jewish? Like, really? I thought you...
Oh my God.
Yeah, he just is staring at them like with like this like deer in the headlights look.
Like not
he's
even
like
angry.
He's
just
like
so
he's like I
dumbfounded.
can't compute. He's like, wait a second.
He's
you agree, but because I think that's also it breaks down like not to bring in like personal shit, but like I feel like there's been some parents that we know that like they love me for some reason, but they're pretty conservative.
Yeah.
But then they found that I'm gay and they were just like, oh, they were like kind of like somewhat shocked by it, but also just like, but we love Scott.
Yeah.
So like they're
you
confused
wear
by it.
Shorts?
Yeah, you wear exactly.
I
So
think
like I think
you
like
wear sandals when it's cold
that,
outside?
Like weird breakdown of a conservative mind of like
Yeah.
you find out afterwards and they're just like,
and you can't process
they're
it.
just like, wait, what? I was always taught that I don't like these people and they're not like me in any way. But then you meet somebody who is like
agrees with you
and is like gets along
you are
with you.
having an attraction to.
Exactly. And their brains just physically melt in their and they can't understand it because they're being confronted with their own biases and their own lies that they've been told or told themselves. And seeing Gene stand there with this deer in the headlights look, and he's just like looking at them, going, he still can't put put it together that he's gay, but he's like, as he said, he's like, you're Jewish.
I think like quickly want to spotlight like obviously we lost Gene Hackman earlier this year, just one of the best to ever do it. And he started as an improvisational comedian, which you wouldn't expect looking at his body of work. But it's like he is so well equipped to be with Robin Williams in this movie.
Yeah. No, the cast they put together to pair with, it's like fine wine and cheese. It's like every single character, every single actor in this movie just is like they just feed on each other and they play off each other. So great, especially like the main, like obviously Nathan, Robin, Gene, the mom.
I mean, even like Dianne Wiest, like
Dianne Wiest is killing it.
Easily could have been like the most like whatever character.
Yeah,
and instead she's like, "Oh, honey, that's so great!" It's like just the way she delivers every single line. It's so sold, and I'm like, I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm in it with her.
No, every single character, every single actor in this movie, just they do such a phenomenal job playing off of each other.
Yeah,
and there's so many scenes that you can just the built up tension and conflict between them is you can almost like feel it from the screen.
I think we could fix conservatism in America if we hired several hundred drag queens to dress as women and seduce the conservative men.
I think that might get us genocide.
It would be evil, but I think we could fix it if we did this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, was it Madison Cawthorn, the Republican senator in the wheelchair that was one year was like, I'm going to expose all these like sex parties and drugs, and then all of a sudden he got voted out of office. So like maybe they've already done that. They're just not open about it. Also, just like remember during the RNC in Wisconsin, Grindr crashed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Oh my god. I mean, like all the bits now of just like what's the Grindr notification sound that's just like I just was gonna be able to pull this up real fucking quickly.
I made it my my ringtone at one point as a joke.
It's like the fucking bit where it's like you're Yeah. Okay. So like literally like it's the joke where it's like you're right behind your ultra conservative uncle and his phone goes off with like the Grindr notification bubble and it's like you're like dude. Oh my god. It is like the thing is like for how much of a meme it's become about like the ultra right wing conservatives being on Grindr and having these like impulses. It's like it's a meme because of time and time again how much it's been proven to be like so true. I mean,
this movie is about how like
sometimes
all these things are funny because they're true.
Yeah, sometimes stereotypes and tropes exist for a reason because they're true.
Well, it's like the most truest statement I've ever heard. It's like the most closeted people are the ones that are like really.
There's been scientific studies on it. They did like arousal tests with like people who were like all like very homophobic, and they
I need to flip flop what I said. Like some of those homophobic people are the most closeted.
Yeah, I got what you meant.
Yeah,
but like there's been actual scientific studies where they like hooked up like monitors to
and they show like images. I think I know exactly
and
what
they
you're
would
talking
get aroused.
about.
Yeah. So like it's just that's probably Gene Hackman's like his sexuality flashed before his eyes. That's probably why he was a deer in the headlights in that movie.
I think it's also like why Robin Williams is like I'm not going back because like if you aren't allowed to express yourself, you become resentful towards people who are.
And I think
like Gene Hackman at the end of the movie, the happiest he ever seems in this movie
when he's dancing
is when he's dancing in drag.
Yeah,
and I think it's like he gets to finally live outside of his own skin.
Yeah,
and like experience true freedom.
Yeah,
because like the press doesn't recognize him. And it's just like it's like freeing to him in the way that it is for all of these drag queens.
It's like maybe at the corner of 37th on the beach. Whatever you say, lady.
It's like there's not enough money in the world, and it's hilarious that even his like chauffeur like doesn't recognize it. It's like they didn't really put Gene into drag. They put him in a dress with a wig, with like a little bit of makeup. Like you clearly can tell that's Gene Hackman. And the fact that his like limo driver is looking at him like not in a million years.
And he's nervous that no one's dancing with him.
And then and he's like, I don't want to be the only girl without a dancing partner. And he's like, is self-conscious about it too. It's
he wants to be pretty.
He's like, I look fat in this dress.
And then Nathan Lane's the one who dances with him in a suit.
Yeah. Flip the roles, baby.
Yeah. You flip the roles and they both look great.
Are family.
This movie is so good.
This movie's great.
And if you haven't seen it and you somehow sat through this entire episode of us talking about it, you need to watch it. It is a movie that I rewatch probably 3 to 4 times a year. It is one of my like good feel good movies when I'm just like, I just want to watch something that makes me happy and makes me feel good. This is one of them. And it is, I still hold probably my top 3 Robin Williams films.
I had a lovely time revisiting this last night.
Yeah.
And just like, obviously like since probably the last time I watched this movie, I've become a little more acquainted with like the works of Mike Nichols and Elaine May who like made this movie. And it's just like, this is like such a part of their oeuvre, and it's just a joy to revisit it.
Yeah.
Live on Fisher Island, get buried in Palm Beach. that way you'll get the best of Florida.
We're staying with the Bushes, the Jeb Bushes.
Also, I just love how the Kennedys are there at the very beginning of the movie. It's like, which Kennedy?
It's like
it's the one that no one cares about.
It's like, we got to get Ted in here sometime.
We need Ted. Give them free coffee.
Yeah.
Remember when they said Jeb was going to be the next president? That was a little funny, right?
Yeah.
This is the smart brother.
The smart.
Jeb.
They're not really,
God.
the bar is a little low. But
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a smart bush. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I believe that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This movie, colossal success.
Yes. Did very well.
$31 million budget, made $185 million at the box office. Rave reviews, comes an instant classic throughout time. People that still, look at us here laughing at the jokes of this movie. Like,
It's timeless.
Damn near 20 years later.
Yeah, it holds up. The comedy holds up.
Yeah, the comedy holds up. And something that I wanted to talk about. I mentioned this last week at our Jumanji episode, and as it relates to Robin Williams, is that like Robin Williams is kind of like he's in an interesting part in his career where he's going back and forth between like wanting to do like serious roles versus more like family friendly blockbuster roles. And what I love about like the Birdcage is like this is very clearly like Robin Williams, the actor, like performing. This isn't Robin Williams doing like a shtick. He's not playing a man child. This is like Robin Williams taking on a character and like performing that character to its truest place. And I'm almost like thinking like, Jeff, maybe like I know I have like the retrospective, the second era ending after What Dreams May Come, which is the film after Good Will Hunting. I'm almost thinking like just looking at the lineup that we have coming up afterwards, like this really feels like besides Good Will Hunting.
Yeah,
like,
I think he has to win his Oscar for us to kind of end this.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe I should just put it like right after Good Will Hunting then. But like,
no, I think
it's only just because like it's like we go from like where it's like every other movie is doing like a serious role to every 2 movies it has a serious role. And this feels like the last movie outside of Good Will Hunting and a couple of other like attempts where it's like a true honest effort.
No, I feel like your Hamlets and your Deconstructing Henrys and What Dreams May Come are all like earnest attempts. And then I think like the Patch Adams Bicentennial Man combo is kind of like the end of his run.
Okay. So the retrospective's in a good spot.
I think the
still.
retrospective is in the perfect spot.
Okay.
So have you ever seen Bicentennial Man?
No, you've asked me this before, and I tell you the same thing. Still no. But the Birdcage, I just point this out because like we talked about Jumanji last week being like it's again the same thing that Robin Williams is being used for, being like a man-child in a family-friendly blockbuster movie. Yeah. And this feels like such a good use of Robin Williams. Like it's such a good use of Robin Williams that like besides Mrs. Doubtfire, like I don't think I've felt since like, well, I'm going to say Hook, but I know if in Jeff's world.
I love that movie.
Hook is a good movie, isn't it? Isn't it a really good movie, Scott?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Isn't Hook amazing? One of Spielberg's best movies.
I'm guessing someone didn't like it.
I think
anyway.
Yeah, Becca and I, Hook. Anyway,
well, I'm so glad I don't
like
respect you or Becca at all. So
it's like not. It's not. It's just like
we will not
We don't have to relitigate it.
We'll not relitigate it. But I'm just like the Birdcage is such like not only is it just like an amazing movie in general, but especially for like our purposes in this podcast of studying Robin Williams. This is like I don't think that this movie. Maybe I'm just talking to my ass here. Because like when you mentioned like what's like Mount Rushmore Robin Williams, I feel like this movie doesn't make a lot of Mount Rushmores.
I would put it on his Mount Rushmore,
but I think this should be on a lot of people's Mount Rushmores because like people quickly go to Dead Poets, Good Morning, Good Will Hunting, and Fisher King.
I wouldn't put Fisher King on there. At least for mine.
I mean, I just like
It's phenomenal.
This is such a good use of Robin Williams to its highest
I'm putting
degree.
Happy Feet, Robots, Night at the Museum.
Oh my God, Robots
and Old Dogs. That's mine.
Angelica's covering that one.
What if my Mount Rushmore is just Happy Feet 2?
Anyway,
but it's definitely. I think I would agree with you. I think it should be on people's more.
I'm ooging and ogging over Robin Williams' role in this, and like the whole cast, everybody in this movie is so good. But it's just like I've never seen like Robin Williams like take such like a meaty role and do amazing things with it as much as like the Birdcage. So anyway, Scott, do you have any final thoughts?
No, but thank you guys for having me. Obviously at the beginning of this, we talked about how I did not have a choice of which movie I was going to be given.
No,
Jeff just texted me going, so Birdcage this date. And I was like, all right, cool, done. Because there was no other option for me to talk about any other Robin movie other than this one.
Yeah, this was absolutely what I needed you on.
Yeah. And I happily drove down here for this.
Tragically, this was only nominated for 1 Oscar.
Which is depressing.
Art direction, set direction. Do you want to know which movie won Best Art Direction in 1997?
In 97?
The English Patient.
Which I've never heard of.
Okay, but like
the English
Best
Patient.
Costume Design, The Birdcage isn't even nominated. And that is a sham.
Who won that?
The English Patient.
Oh my God, the English Patient won. Jesus Christ.
The English
I had no
Patient-
idea how many Oscars the English Patient won.
The English
I knew it
I've
won.
never heard of the movie ever.
The English Patient won so many.
It won everything it was nominated for except for screenplay and actor and actress.
We love how biased and stupid the Academy is. And I will happily say that on record as someone who works in film.
I will give you the actor noms. I will give you it's hard to say directing noms, but not a screenplay, not a costume design, not hair and makeup.
I think at minimum
you're
this deserves
out of
like
your
a
fucking mind.
Robin Williams or Nathan Lane not getting nominated for Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Gene Hackman's character alone could have potentially been nominated for Best Supporting.
I would have, given the option, I would have minimum nominated this for Best Adapted Screenplay. And I would maybe give it 2 Best Supporting Actor nominations for Hackman and Nathan Lane. But that's a little crazy.
Nathan Lane, it feels like an actor.
I think Robin is the lead.
It's like a double hander.
But I think you're with Robin's perspective.
Yeah.
More so than you are Nathan Lane.
Yeah, I think regardless, it's so I think this is such look at what's this 97 is for some reason the Jerry Maguire English Patient year.
Mm-hmm.
And to think the Birdcage is not held up to that degree. Adapted screenplay 1,000,000% should have been up there. Costumes, hair and makeup, art set direction. This movie is just crafted very well. I mean, the cinematography of this movie is really good.
Emmanuel Lubezki shooting it inexplicably, which is crazy that because he only does real arty stuff now.
Yeah.
Before we sign out, I just want to quickly read this section from the Wikipedia for this movie, which I think is a good summary of the legacy of this film. The Birdcage represented a major turning point for media portrayal of LGBTQ people. The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, also feature drag queens and were released prior to The Birdcage, but did not achieve the same level of box office success, and studio films centering on gay people to that point, such as Philadelphia, tended to focus on tragic stories concerning HIV/AIDS. Academic Matthew Jones said that the arrival of The Birdcage, a comedy that celebrated being gay, helped an audience traumatized by a decade of living day-to-day with the threat of disease to learn to laugh again. In 2021, Emily Maskell of the BBC wrote, "What is particularly astute about the film's comedy in the way it mixes farcical hijinks with satirical intent, taking aim at both homophobia and the crisis of masculinity as it navigates the infiltration of conservatism into a liberal space."
I do love how HIV and AIDS was never a
Never
topic
mentioned.
of this movie, and it was just comedy, and it was just
Yeah.
the fun, everything we talked about. Because obviously, '90s is still the peak of the AIDS crisis, and that quote really does sum it up. It's it's a nice little break.
Yeah.
From
It's nice to
from
just
all
celebrate
that.
this.
Exactly.
And Philadelphia is an incredible movie, but there's also just a kind of gut-wrenching movie.
But I cry a lot during Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I did not cry during The Birdcage.
I cry of laughter.
No.
Yeah.
I do. I would love to end with a quote from Robin Williams. I mentioned on off screen, and this is one of the reasons why I love Robin Williams and everything that he's done, and why I try to be a happy, fun-loving person. And this is the quote: "I think the saddest people always try their hardest to make people happy because they know what it's like to feel absolutely worthless, and they don't want anyone else to feel like that."
Mm-hmm. He's the best ever.
And I think the way that he was always on when he was around people to make people laugh, I think is a very, very telling thing. And obviously, he took his own life. He was obviously had a lot of issues with depression, and just I'm gonna leave with check up on your friends, see how they're doing. Try to be as much sunshine as you can in the world for everyone around you. Life's hard. Don't make it harder for yourself. Don't make it harder for other people. Be a good person, and you don't know what someone else is fighting with.
Yeah.
So just be a good person.
Check up on your friends and check up on your happy friends, because it's often the happiest friends are the ones that are have the best toolkit at hiding what they're going through.
This Nathan Lane said the film touches people deeply because it's ultimately about family, what you do for your family, why you love your family, even though they drive you crazy. Then ultimately, not to sound corny, it's about love. It's about love in both families and coming to accept one another in their differences.
Yeah.
It's like, choose love.
No.
Choose life. Choose it. No, sorry, I'm not gonna do
Please
the train
don't.
spot.
But I think that's a great place to end it. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think we could have ended it any way. And Scott, I had an amazing time talking to you about the Birdcage.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I had a blast on this.
This
one,
was a
guys.
good one.
Yeah,
This was a really good one. It's such a good time to talk about like a joyful movie.
Yes.
Like this is such a joyful movie that makes you laugh, makes you smile.
Yeah, because we've been dealing with a lot of depressing movies during the Robin Williams.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Watching the Holocaust dramas with this one.
Yeah, right. And thank you to the audience for listening to us talk about 1996, Mike Nichols, The Birdcage. If you like this episode, please remember to rate, review, comment, like, subscribe, whatever platform you're listening on. As always, you can find us on whatever platform you get your podcast from. That includes Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, all those types of things. Special thanks to Rebecca for the graphic design, Michael Van Bodek for the theme music. We hope you had an amazing time listening to us talk about The Birdcage. We hope you have the same amount of enjoyment as you tune in next week for Jack.
Oh, God.
See ya next week for that movie. Bye.